Hello, everyone. This is Richard C. Wilson. I'm here with Thomas Inserra from Integro Bank, which is a technology focused or enhanced bank. And welcome, Thomas.
Hello, Richard.
Thanks for being here. So what is a short description of Integro Bank?
Well, Integro is a digital technology-based bank focused on helping small business with three key differentiators. Our first key differentiator is the strength of our team with 42 founders and 5.3 million in capital that we've raised. Our second is Integro 360, and our third is the Integro CEO Club.
Okay, great. And there are a lot of banks out there, thousands of banks, but obviously you have already raised millions of dollars for this bank. What's some of the unique processes or IP or the unique approach that's going to separate you from 95% of the other banks that are out there?
Well, great question. Our focus is on helping small business, and we believe that helping small business is important because it increases employment. And in terms of why we decided to focus on that is we believe employment lifts people up and transforms lives. And we have found that that message has really resonated with our board and our founders. And yes, in a very quick time frame, we were able to raise that 5.3 million from our initial founders. So that was the initial glue that brought us together. But what's really resonating beyond that core purpose of helping small business is the two additional key differentiators, which I'd be happy to explain in a little bit more detail.
Sure.
But the Integro 360 is something that's proprietary to our organization, and the CEO Club is proprietary to our organization as well.
Okay, can you explain what those two things are real quick?
Yes, absolutely. I'll start with Integro 360. It's an 8-step consultative process. And why we're excited about this is that we view the banking industry as fundamentally commoditized, with most of the existing players competing on price. And we intend to distinguish ourselves from the existing competitors with a totally different offering that we call Integro 360. It's an 8-step consultative process where we engage directly with a business owner. And for example, within the 8 steps, we provide them with a complimentary business valuation, which gets them thinking about the current valuation of their company, and more importantly, where do they want to take their company in the future, and what kind of an exit plan or strategy do they have? Maybe their business is worth $1 million today, and they want to create 10 million in value and then retire and sell the business. Then we also share with them complimentary peer data to show them how their competitors in the market are performing. And what we're finding is that no bank is providing either a business valuation or peer data. And the executives, this information, they're finding that this information helps guide their business and helps them make very strategic decisions, and it adds value. And it becomes very sticky. The companies like this information. They want to receive this information on a regular monthly or quarterly basis because it helps them see how they're performing relative to their peers in the market. And are they getting further ahead, or are they falling further behind? And are they helping to create and maximize the value within their business? And are they growing their business and maximizing employment? So that's the fundamentals of the Integro 360. The CEO Club complements that in that we've formed a networking organization where the CEOs and the owners of these small businesses can come together and share best practices and learn from each other. And that interaction with other businesses is really helpful. So from the viewpoint of the customers, the small businesses, they find that this adds a lot of value to them, and it's something that just doesn't exist in the market today.
So obviously you're targeting the business owner, and the business owner that has a large enough business, they actually care about their valuation and they see themselves as a CEO, not just a entrepreneur who has a small startup, but obviously trying to attract that business owner client who probably also has real estate lending needs, maybe a credit line need, maybe other types of needs in the banking industry because they are a business owner. A lot comes along with that, right?
That's it, exactly. And Richard, interestingly, what we found in our market is that these small businesses that we're talking about, so these are companies with 100 employees or less, they actually represent 99% of all the companies in the market. But all the banks combined are only supplying 4.5% of their loans to that marketplace. So we're finding that they're fundamentally underserved. And when we surveyed these small business owners, 85% indicated that they're unhappy. And what they would really like are these types of consultative services to help them grow their business.
Right. Awesome. Well, this is pretty interesting. I'm sure we could go on deeper in that because it's pretty interesting what you guys are up to. But we'll want to keep this relatively concise. What's the number one due diligence question an investor could ask a bank like yours that maybe few people think to ask because they're not maybe experts in banking?
Well, most investors think of banks as a commodity. So I think as an investor, the best question is, how do we intend to decommoditize banking? And I think we hinted at that earlier. It's with the unique offerings of Integro 360 and the CEO Club. It allows us to change how we compete in the market. And we believe in terms of how that will help investors, it will help drive improved margins at our bank.
Makes sense. And then what would be a $100,000 piece of advice you could leave us with today as it relates to banking, the bank industry, serving CEOs, anything that you think would be helpful for investors to hear?
Well, investors sometimes ask about fintechs and the threat that they may pose to banks. So I think the $100,000 question is, fintechs have been at it for almost 20 years now, and the level of disruption has not really occurred on a large scale basis, primarily because they have not fully embraced the regulatory framework that banks are required to operate within. So I believe that some of the best innovations to come in the future are going to come from banks who understand that regulatory process and who, like us, are highly motivated to change their offerings, to adapt to the market, and to come up with something new and innovative. So I think the due diligence question is, how are you decommoditizing banking? And I think we've explained how we're going to do that.
Right, great. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you because there's a way to work together or they want to learn more about your plans, what's the best way to reach out and get in touch?
Well, my email is ceo@integrobank.com. And our website is integrobank.com. And interestingly, our offering circular is actually on our website, and we have developed an online portal to facilitate online investments into the bank stock.
That's awesome. I guess that goes with being a technology forward bank to show that you could do that in such a highly regulated industry. And most people not able to figure that out on the tech side. I guess that's a good first step to showing off your tech prowess, I guess. Huh?
Well, that's an important point. We think that we're the first bank in the United States to have a digital online portal. And the other interesting comment on that front, Richard, is even though we've not launched yet, we're the #1 ranked bank on LinkedIn in terms of the number of followers, which proves that we have a strong digital presence even before we've launched the bank.
Great points. Yeah, I'm glad that kind of accidentally came up. That's an awesome example. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything is kind of how some people operate, right? So that's great. Appreciate your time here today, Thomas. And as I mentioned, we have a few friends probably in common and a couple of connections that could probably help you. So I'll make sure I make those introductions, but I appreciate your time here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.